RIOT has about 60 days to get its hands on Bitfarms before a potential summer rally comes through, nullifying any chance they had of acquiring this company. We've got PCE data coming in. Let's take a look also at Bitcoin and some of the other cryptos like Solana and Doge today. Let's get into it. So first of all, let's talk about PCE. PCE today came in line as expected. Core PCE rose for the month of April 0.2%, which is in line with forecasts, along with the year over year at 2.8%, which was also in line with forecast. As a result, the market's kind of just not doing a lot. It's mostly staying kind of flat. Maybe it'll go up a little bit later, but as of right now, if we were to go into it, this is the Bitcoin chart, but let's bring up SPY real quick. SPY is up for the day 0.2%. So market's just kind of like, okay, great. We're not falling apart. All right. So first of all, let's start off looking at Bitcoin today. I'm just going to very quickly point out that we are below the 5-day moving average, but we are between the 5 and the 20. And the 20-day moving average is right here at 67,000. It's above my purple line now. So I don't really think we're going to get much in terms of below that. And the longer we coil here, the more I'm looking for a big explosive move up if any good news comes through. So all we need is one good news catalyst. And honestly, we're looking at new all-time highs for Bitcoin. So this is actually a really nice chart that I'm looking at right now. We had a bit of a shallow pullback after a run into the 20-day moving average area. And once we bounce off of that, we could potentially go flying much, much higher. Or if it goes beneath it, the 50 will catch us at about 64,000, which is honestly not that far below where we currently are. So I'm really not concerned about any of this movement right now at all. And this also bodes well for the miners. So Bitfarms, I'm not going to talk about the daily right now, but what I want to mention is that Bitfarms is likely to be going into some big moves here going into the summer. Now, June is often hit or miss. If we go back into the history, if we go to like June 2023, that one was a really good year, right? It was up 22.5%. June 2022, though, was down 44%. June 2021 was down 7%, and June 2020 was also down about 19%. So June is hit or miss with more misses than hits. And now, could that be the same this year or will it change? I don't know. Usually, let's take a look here. The red Junes are often preceded by a red May. Uh, yeah, red May, red June, red May, red June. What about back here? Red May, red June. How about in 2023? So we also only had the one time we had a green May so far. We also had a very nicely green June. So do those go together? Perhaps we'll find out. There's not enough history for us to really fully say, but I have been talking about a summer run for a while. If Bitcoin does break out, you can expect Bitfarms will follow to a certain extent. But July, if we look at July, July is always green. So we've got, let's see, July 2020, that was up 22%. July 2021, that was up 6%. July 2022 was the only green month that year at plus 30%. July 2023 was up 27%. So even, and this month right now, we're up 26%. So even if we have one of the worst Junes we've had, which would be a 44% reduction in price, which I don't think is happening. We are in a bull run, so it is not, that is very unlikely to happen. We would only go down to $1.38 in that worst case scenario. Now, likely, I think the worst case scenario for June is probably going to be like a 20%, which would take us down to like 184 again. But since we're in a bull run, it is likely that we could see, and we have been getting some upward momentum on Bitfarms as well as on Bitcoin. We could see this continue to run, and we might get a slight green June, followed by a massively green July. July is frequently double digits. So even if we stayed flat in June, we could see 20-30% move up, which would take us closer to $3 in July. Now, that would make RIOT's offer of 230, which I hold the opinion of being a lowball offer, and that would just further solidify that. So they're going to have to close this quickly. Otherwise, I don't think they're going to have any chance whatsoever of acquiring this company for anything less than $3 a share. And honestly, with previous price action, I mean, let's see just last summer. All right, so last summer, let's start for June 1. Last summer, June 1st was right here. It went up 86% last summer. It went from 116 all the way up to 217 last June. And then in November, yeah, we saw that epic run from under $1 up to 356, and then it came back down to 190 and went up to 390. This time we went down to 153. Where are we going to go up from here? It could be huge, especially now that we're actually in the bull run. We're post-halving. Bitcoin's going up. Bitcoin's significantly more expensive than it was back in these other previous runs. All they need to do is really deliver. Now, if we did an 86% run right now, that would put us at $4.24. Riot's not going to pay that. They can't pay that. They don't have enough money for that. The only company that might have enough money to do that is Marathon Digital. So basically, Bitfarms needs to make it another 60 days as their own independent company. We need to see Bitcoin return to the all-time highs, maybe even surpass them for the summer, which is, it's not out of the realm of possibility. There is that summer seasonality that is often bullish. We see those things. Riot is out of luck here. And so it's really just a matter of time. Bitfarms just needs to hold out. They really just need to hold out. Maybe deliver some good news on their exahash. Maybe even if they don't give us a CEO, that would be really great. But I don't think they'll be getting that done anytime soon. So Riot's going to be putting their foot on the gas, trying to get this hostile takeover done quickly because they are running out of time and they know it. So that is really important there. Let's take a look at how Riot is doing today. During all of this drama, Riot is up 1% today. They are coiling something fierce here. They seem to have a floor right here at 997 and honestly a ceiling about 11 bucks or so here. And it's been that way since April 30. And we've just been stuck in this really tight coil. Let's take a look at the fibs. We're probably near the center of it. Let's take a look. Yeah, we're right near the center of it. The purple line's the center. Yeah, it's just coiling, tightening up. We're probably in a Bollinger Band squeeze. Let's take a look. Yeah, we've been in a Bollinger Band squeeze since May 20. We're beneath all of the SMAs. The Riot chart kind of looks terrible compared to the Bitfarms chart, which was above most of the SMAs. And we've got the 200 here at 1172, really holding us back. We need to get above that thing to really see Riot do anything impressive here anytime soon. All right, let's move on to Mara. Mara is currently not looking so bad. It's at $20.04. It is also coiling in this pullback here. Let's take a look. Do I have my drawings off? Yes, I do. Yeah, we're in my channel here, my descending channel. We're hitting the 20-day right now. This is where we're likely to see a bounce or a failure here. Honestly, we're between the 5 and the 20. We need a bounce, or we could see ourselves come and test the 50 down at $19. I really don't want to see it go beneath 1980. I really want to see it stick to my line here and bounce off of it back up to this $22 range. I want to see it test that area. I really want it to get off of this bottom right here. Hopefully that'll happen soon. We need some good news coming through on these things. We need some catalysts to come through. Let's take a look at CleanSpark. What's CleanSpark doing today? Also very, very flat. It's down 0.18%. It too is kind of coiling. It is beneath the 5, the 50, and the 20. The only thing beneath it is the 200. But it has been kind of tightly coiling around the 5, the 20, and the 50. Honestly, it started coiling around those since April 1st. So it's been months of just coiling around these things. Let's take a look at the weekly on CleanSpark. Actually see which SMA we're about to touch on this thing. Give it a moment to load. There it is. Yeah, we've been on the 20 week, just glued to it since April 15th. We really need to get off of this thing and get some big momentum. Let's take a look at the fibs, see where those are at, the fib Bollingers. Yeah, we've been just glued again to the middle of the fibs, the highest we could get off on the weekly, the highest it's showing that it really wants to before getting strong resistance would be $28. That would be pretty amazing. I'd be pretty happy with that, to be honest. But for now, coiling, just like everything else, it's just building up for that big move. Which direction it's going to be? I'm leaning towards an upward move, but who knows? I am seeing something of a falling wedge here, starting from here, going there, and here like this. I am seeing something of a falling wedge on CleanSpark, which is nice to see. That is a bullish sign. If it breaks above it, that would be really, really cool. So right now, yeah, 15 is still what we're looking at as a floor potentially. I really want to see it get back above $18 to start feeling bullish again. And then honestly, it's really got to get into the 20s to really kick off a bull run for CleanSpark. So that's really, we're just waiting for those things to happen right now. Take a look at Bit Digital. How is Bit Digital doing today? It's plus 0.5%. It's just kind of charging up. Buyers aren't too crazy, as you can see with these wicks on top. There's a lot of selling pressure as soon as it starts getting up towards that 262 level, and that's been happening for about a week now. We really need to see it get above. Honestly, it's got to get above this candle body right there, above 261. I want to see it get above and hold above 261 to really feel confident about the move that's going on right now. And that reason that it's been happening there is the 200. The 200-day moving average right at 255 has been holding it back. I think once we conquer this thing and we get a few days closed above it, I think there's not going to be a lot in the way of Bit Digital in terms of going up from here. Let's take a look at the fib levels for the daily. Where are those landing right now? Yeah, same thing. The fib line is right at the top there, 261, 262. And that would be the 5, not the 5, that would be the 318, or no, the 382, and then the 618 is at 273, and then the 1 is all the way up at 293. That'd be pretty cool if we got up there real soon. So we'll take a look at here. Again, this is in an upward channel. It's coming off of a pullback here, so we could see some momentum to drive it up, just like with many of the other miners right now. Take a look at IREN. How is IREN doing this morning? IREN is up 3%, so that's pretty good. We are flagging up here. I think IREN's flagging. I think it's holding. Unless something happens, IREN very likely could hold in this space right here between 8.15 and $7 and wait for the 20 to catch up. It could happen. It is coiling a little bit, so, and it is beneath the 5, so that is a little bit concerning. But honestly, this is looking like a flag, and it could continue to flag for a few more days while that 20 curls on up. And once that 20 gets up close to that $7 range, I really don't think we're going to go below it anytime soon. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty great to see. I like that. That's pretty bullish. Let's take a look at Core Scientific. Been getting a lot of more comments about that lately, so let's take a look at CORZ. Wow, the internet's kind of slow today. CORZ, another day down 2.66%. This really is as expected. Nothing too crazy. I'm not really concerned about this, honestly, at all. I would like to see the RSI come back to about a 50 to a 50 retracement on the RSI. That might take us down to about 443-ish, maybe down to even, let's say, maybe not the 20. We might stay above the 20, but like maybe to the bottom of this big candle here from May 24th, body of it anyways, at 419. That might be where I'd say like that's probably the lowest it's likely to go. Let's take a look here. Yeah, on the 4-hour, yeah, 440 is where the 20 for the 4-hour sits. And even if we dip just slightly below that, yeah, like around 440 and 420, somewhere between 440 and 420, I'm expecting it to. Let's draw a box. Somewhere around here in this box. That's where I'm expecting price to go back to before turning around again. Now, of course, if some good news comes through and we get a news catalyst, this could turn right back around and go right back up again. But this is a healthy pullback. This is nothing to be concerned about. This is normal movement on a stock. So for now. All right, so that's all of the miners. Let's take a look at CIFRW, see what it's doing today. I don't even have a candle today. It says minus 5.6%. Yeah, minus 5.6%. Candle looks super flat. Let's see if we've got like a 15-minute candles, if it's showing anything of value today. Not really, no. It's not showing it yet. Okay, so nothing seems to be going on there. It says 101 right now. That's fine. I might be able to pick up a few under $1. Maybe we'll see if I get lucky with that or not. Who knows? Anyways, let's move on to some cryptos. Solana. So Solana is still holding up above that 160 level. It seems like the 20 here, the 20-day is acting as support for it as it comes into this pullback. It bounced off of it once. Now it likely is like to bounce off of it one more time. We did a 50 retracement on the RSI. We are hanging out right at the 50 RSI. You can see that volume on the volume oscillator down here is, let me get this up, is starting to curl up. Is starting to curl up. This red, when this turns green, will really be cooking here, just like back here, any of these other times. But you can see any other time that price or volume, sorry, does a turnaround and starts curling the other direction, we very quickly see price follow. So this is nice to see that it's kind of a slow build right now. I would like to see this do a sharp upturn, and that would get me pretty excited about Solana. But for now, it does look like the 160 level is likely to be the bottom, where the bottom was, and the new bottom is potentially right here at that 165 level, and it's been holding that for quite a while here, quite a few days. Now, if it breaks beneath that, the 50 is likely to catch us down at 152, and we wouldn't likely go any lower than that. So that's pretty comforting to know. And above us, we really just need to clear 173 at having a shot at going for the previous cycle high at 188. And if we take out that 188, we could go to the previous cycle high over at $210 on Solana. And we could do that pretty quickly if that is to happen. So let's take a look at the weekly real quick. Let's get a little look at the weekly here. This isn't bad, not bad at all. We could, again, the 5-week moving average is quickly moving up towards that 160 level. Once it reaches that, I don't really see us going anywhere below it anytime soon. This does look a little bit like a blow off top from the May 20 week, but it does look like we have mostly recovered from that. It looks like price really doesn't want to go anywhere below 160, but it also doesn't want to go above 173, 175 right now. But when that does happen, when it happens and we get a close up there, that's going to be very, very exciting for us in terms of moving up very quickly with Solana. So let's take a look at Dogecoin now. So Dogecoin is interesting. So I was thinking this could be, pretty big, a pullback followed by a big move up. You can see it came down into the 20-day. It was curling up. That was pretty great looking. I think I was looking at an inverted head and shoulders on the daily. Let me take a look here. Yes, I was looking at something of an inverted head and shoulders on the daily. This green line was the neckline. We came right up to that neckline. Notice how we came right up to it and then failed, and then went up to it again, and then failed. That part isn't good. That's the part that isn't good. And you can see here, if I turn off these, right in this area right here, we have a bit of a rising wedge. We have a bit of a rising wedge right here. If we break beneath this line right here, this one, we break beneath that, that could confirm the rising wedge. If we get a confirmation beneath that. And if that happens, we are likely to be coming back down towards about 14 cents-ish, right around here. We'd be looking to come right back down around that area. Now, we could turn around there. We could totally turn around there. That is an area of support down here. Decent area of support, actually, on the daily. But this is a rising wedge. Rising wedges tend to have leaning towards the downside if it were to break. And it does look like it is coming outside of it, so it could break to the downside, and that would take us back down to about 14 cents. I don't think that would be necessarily the worst thing in the world, a bit of a pullback. Let's take a look. Yeah, if it did that, we'd likely come back, maybe test the 200, which at that point would probably be closer to, let's say, like 13 cents or so, but I don't think we'll get much lower than that at all. See about the fibs. Yeah, same with the fibs. We got a fib. The 618 fib for the bottom of the bands is down at 14 cents. We got another one at 13.50. Yeah, it's not too bad, not terrible. Now we do have some SMAs. We are coming into the 20-day SMA, and we have the 50 right here at 15 cents, 15.4 cents. So that's really comforting as well. So I don't know if we would actually break that far. It might be a very weak break or a false break, hit the 50 and bounce off of it and go running again. So if we were to get above, let's say, this line right here, if we break this thing, yeah, if we break this line to the upside, well, then I'd be looking for a test at the top of this wedge again. So this thing, honestly, it's kind of indeciding. It's in indecision. We are printing a doji currently. We're sitting right on the 20-day moving average with the 50 immediately below us. So I'm not super concerned about this rising wedge at this time. I think it might coil one more time. But if it does break the 50, we're going to come down to 14 cents, and that's just that Dogecoin. Now, will that last long? I don't think so, especially if Bitcoin starts taking off. If Bitcoin takes off, very soon after, we'll start seeing Dogecoin take off as well. So not super concerned about that yet. So anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.